Well, my mum knows that if I don't go there on a Saturdays, I used to go to football matches and go to Mecca. But if I go there, I'm only getting into trouble, and she knows it's best me to go somewhere and, you know, where I can enjoy myself and keep out of trouble.
Yeah, my mum says it keeps me out of the house, you know.
My mum says it keeps me out of trouble as well.
Do you remember the first time we did the auction, I bid my best friend? And I really meant it. And some of you looked very shocked when I started bidding Janet. I would give Janet away for a big bag of gold. So what are the things that you would bid for? Be serious about it. Really think about it. Really work out the kind of things you're prepared to give up for money, for gold. And you crawl all the way down there, and please don't grin, don't nudge each other. You don't want to be in the end of the show, rather stay out than nudging each other. And when you get to the end, really, really stretch out for that money. Okay, can you turn that way, facing Jed?
I would like to get the kids into a situation where they could be completely free and they could walk in and not have rehearsed anything. This is what I think that we're trying to do in the workshop. I think the bread show is possibly 60% there.
Today I'm going to surprise you. I have something that everybody needs. Now you're going to ask that question what? Now this here is a bag of 4,000 silver coins from the land of Frankenstein, Holland. Now you people, you all need this money. Come on now. Come on.
I used to be very anti-performance. This is because I'm very hesitant about products anyway. It's the process, it's what happens week by week that matters to me in relation to the kids and what the kids are unconsciously getting out of it. I don't want them to be aware of having to impress people. They spend their lives having to impress people anyway, in school and at home. And I just wanted them to grow organically in the workshop. But the local authorities did pressurise me a bit to put on this show because they felt we needed to put on a product, a performance, and say, look, this is what we're doing, this is how we're occupying the kids all day Saturday. I don't want it to be a fantastic, perfect show. It's going to be very rough, and the great thing is that nothing can go wrong because there's nothing right in it. It just depends entirely on the mood, on what happens to the kids, how high they get tonight.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
It was the speed, lack of definition and complexity, which was rather confusing to parents. At times, so confusing that we could have done with the rest in between.
Just my cup of tea is that. I always, you know, we're a kid again. I like ad-lib acting and speaking, just what comes into my mind.
I think parents expect to see the conventional thing. If you were to go every week and see what Carolyn does, I think parents would appreciate it more what she's after.
sick of it, because, you know, but now I'm away all day. And it's exciting to come to workshops, you know.
I want the kids to be aware of the fact that they themselves, each one of them, is capable of making decisions, capable of being independent, and not having to rely on the system, on the teacher, on their parents, to run their lives for them. But to become aware of these kind of things, they've got to be involved in an activity. They've got to set up the frameworks for the activities themselves. And I found that the way of doing this was group session work.
Okay, can everybody come down here and spread out and find a space? Just stand off. Can you shake both arms together? Can you shake them really hard?
Been going nearly a month at workshop now.
Shake them really hard to the side. Shake them above your head.
It wasn't a bit like I expected.
Behind you. Shake them in front of you.
Well, when I first joined it, I was...
It was brown.
Yes, yes. Well, I think I was more drama-minded in the sense of the thought to be lesbians. Sorry, thought to be thespians. I beg your pardon. You know, much more Shakespeare-minded. Now I'm much freer, much wider, much, dare I say, ready to improvise.
The seats were nice, and there was a coffee bar, and we did mud dancing. And Carrie was young, and I didn't expect her to be young.
Clap behind you, to the side, in front of you. Use your legs as well.
I started the workshop mainly to get something to do on a Saturday because, you know, I was really bored on Saturdays. And, you know, it was just something to do, really. And, I was interested in drama.
Oh, I came to the workshop. I expected some sort of drama setup. Not at all what it was.
Side. Stop shaking, just go around in a circle. Up. Side. Down. Side. Up. Side. Down.
Oh, I don't know. I suppose if I didn't go to the workshop, I'd only be going somewhere else and getting into trouble.
Repeat after me. Side. Up. Side. Down. Side. Up. Side. Down. Side. Up. Breathe. Drop your left arm, just hold your right arm in the air.
But I don't like warming up. It's stupid.
I don't like it where she keeps us all bobbing up and down. It gets a bit boring, that. Especially wriggling your shoulders.
Yeah, I know some of the older kids too don't like the warm-up. I suppose it's partly because it's a bit slightly reminiscent of PT or something like this, or dancing lessons or something, which they tend to get a bit self-conscious about sometimes. And if we played football with the boys, it would probably do, in some respects, as much good.
I'd rather go watch Leeds. I mean, you get more excitement down at Ellen Road.
Carol and I are both girls, so we don't play football, which I suppose is the reason why we don't do it, you know. Maybe we ought to play football with them, I don't know. It's just a kind of physical warming up thing. And I think it does help them to move in ways they'd never thought of moving before. You know, use bits of them that they'd never used. You know, because very often you can lead it on into the next thing that you're going to do.
Strings are pulling you up. Bring your arms up. And begin to stretch up. Stretch higher. Come on, higher. Stretch your fingers up. Stretch. Go on, stretch as high as you can. Stretch. 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 Okay, flop down again.
My parents really envy me, the work I'm doing and having a great time. And my grandmother, she thinks the bread show's great. She's down to see the Push and Judy show.
Yes, I think the workshop's all right for the youngsters of today. They want something to occupy the mind. And I like it because they're encouraged to use free expression. They can listen to music and interpret it in their own way. And then you can find out what sort of character they've got and how to develop it better, I think.
My parents' idea of the workshop is that it's a place to go on Saturday mainly, and it's an experience to help give confidence to the individuals like myself.
Yes, Judith has never been a very forthcoming youngster, even as a child, and I think this has helped very much to bring her out. It's improving her speech slightly and making her...
I don't think they've really any idea what on earth it's all about, though.
They've seen the bread show, and they think it's all right as long as I enjoy myself. But they said it's not, you know, stage drama. It's just, well, sort of just enjoying yourself, more or less.
Well, one is bound to have doubts about any organisation which is just starting up. I think it's just getting off the ground. But if it goes on along the lines that it has up to now, with the proper supervision, it should be all right.
I think it's an outlet for children's, you know, aggressions and things. I think it's worthwhile that way. It's better than wrecking telephone kiosks and so on. I do think it's a great outlet for children that can express themselves. I think that way it's very good.
I told them when we were doing the bread show, and they said they'd come and see, but they didn't. Well, I didn't really want them to come. Because I don't, it's not that I don't like them, they just, but when I tell them about this place, they think it must be really kids stuff. Well, I don't think it is.
Keep your eyes closed and try and relax every part of you. Okay? You're lying on the beach. It's a beautiful sunny day. There's a marvellous blue sky up above you. You can just see some white clouds in the distance. Very, very peaceful and quiet. Lying there on the beach, a marvellous holiday. You're away from all your worries at home and school and your family and everybody. Just lying there, sunning yourself. You feel very, very relaxed and very comfortable. You can feel the sand underneath you. It's quite warm and soft. You can feel it under your fingertips, very smooth, very warm.
The biggest waste of time is you're lying on a warm beach. And
No, that's so relaxing.
But it isn't.
But it's to relax your mind. This thing's about a beach.
Marvellous, I love it. Just lying there.
If you really imagine that you are on a beach, it's amazing. You know, you really believe you are, and you can actually feel the sun. It's really marvellous.
I never like lying on beaches anyway, because I get a terrible sunburn.
Every part of you just flowing outwards into the water. Very, very comfortable. Very peaceful.
I do think they ought to try and improve their speech a little. I do. Sort of glaring things, which are just sort of just left to glide. It all sort of goes with scruffiness, you know, scruffiness, badly spoken. I don't say everyone ought to be teetle-tottle, but, you know, a general good English.
I don't think that's the aim and object of the organisation.
It's fantastically important what kind of background they come from and how far they are understood at home and how far what they want to do is understood at home. And the tragedy of the situation is that often they're going to have to make a kind of choice between their parents and between us, because some parents disapprove of us.
Oh, yes. Angela's mother, my daughter-in-law, she stopped her from going because she was under the impression that this workshop was teaching the students to be unruly.
They aren't prepared to compromise, to share the relationship with us, with their parents. They like to be separate. They like to think of us as a separate unit belonging to them.
No,
I don't know anything about the workshop or anything like that. Nothing. Because Anna doesn't tell us anything about it. She won't tell us anything. I mean, I ask her. She won't tell us anything. Isn't she, Dad?
Well, I don't know what they're trying to do all in a full day down on a Saturday, you know, going week after week. They must get a bit bored. And then all these rehearsals and things like that, they rehearse the same thing week after week. Surely they must be getting nearly perfect by now, you know.
Very painful for you to feel this. It will be very slimy.
You really do imagine a box around you and the corners of the box and trying to get out.
Exploring every part. The worst thing about that is that you can't see what anybody else is doing, and you feel as if you're the only person in the room and everybody's watching you.
You're sure you've covered every part of the thing? Once you've got out of it, you can start helping somebody else near to you to get out of there.
You can tap on their box and say, well, is it made of metal?
He's come up with these magic cutters that manage to open the box. And
Then again, I don't know what's behind it all, you know. What's at the end of the whole show when they're finished. It's not helping their career or anything. Or what they want to do.
It's, we've rehearsed, the show.
You just can't describe it, because what goes on between you and somebody else when you're out there on the floor working together is something which can't be put into words.
Well, surely it don't matter what place you do it at, does it?
Of course it matters. It's the way most children can't describe what, you know, when they've been out playing in the woods or something. They can't say exactly what they've been doing to their parents. When they've created a whole fantasy world, they won't tell their parents about it.
Sort of gain a sympathy for people, you know, you can understand people much better by working with them as you do. And you get to learn people better than you normally would.
You become aware of every detail which a person does, a reaction. You react to their reaction. You know what they mean, by the look on their face even.
I find it quite difficult working in the workshop, in fact, partly because I think of inexperience. You know, it's difficult to get a grasp on what is going on sometimes. But when they're really enjoying themselves, and you can see they're obviously getting a lot out of it, you get a tremendous kick out of it, obviously. You know, when you throw out an idea and they pick it up and really develop it in a way you've never thought about before, and they come up with something, you know, that it just never occurred to you. It's tremendous, you know.
Glenn is a pupil at St Thomas Aquinas Grammar School for Boys. And when I first met him at school, he was labelled as the arch hooligan. He could not work with anybody in school. I get into the workshop and I find that I can work with him on whatever level I like. You know, it works as a two-way thing continuously. And far more than affection, far than something to lean on, the workshop is providing an area where he can sort of develop himself all the time.
I really just want to open the individual up and keep the kids open, because I think I see the education system as closing kids up. Creative activity has a ridiculously small part in the school timetable, so that the real creativity takes place when they're mimicking the teacher, or, you know, freaking out at the Mecca, or trying to build up their own group. And they just feel it's wrong, and they're embarrassed to try and bring the same kind of creativity into the classroom. Teachers are frightened often of letting the kids really enjoy themselves.
At school, I was always in trouble. Every lesson I went to, I was in trouble. In a maths lesson, English, I would giggle, mess about with pens, flicking ink. But when I went to drama, I was really good. I didn't look everything up of. I worked. I don't know why. I just thought it was a lot better than doing ordinary lessons, and you could do what you want in drama. You could shout at the top of your voice, run around like hooligans. A lot.
And just control with your fingers from here. Just keep it going very slowly. Just push it back into the middle. No further. Just keep your body straight.
If one believes play is important in terms of very young children, which I think it is, of developing the spontaneous, the creative thing in the child, he's exploring the world about him, he's putting himself in relation to other people when he pretends to be somebody else. He's really working out his relationship to that other person and so forth and so on. The child should be able to maintain this. And there's no reason, just because he goes to secondary school and starts doing homework and all this sort of business, that that element of play should be lost. The creative side of him, the spontaneous side of him, the individual development should continue. And I think this is the trouble, that in so many cases it doesn't continue.
And in the spaces we're going to put a face which shows how we feel about the person on our left.
It's not the games, it's what they lead up to that's important.
The games, improvisations, talks, discussions in groups, working together. They all help each other. I'll never forget it. It'll be sort of the watershed of my life, really. You know, where I grew up.
Sunday afternoons are the most time because you've done a whole day on Saturday. You go out on Saturday night, up on Sunday morning to do some revision, and then fly down there to the flat for 1 o'clock to do the Punch and Judy.
I can't do it anything.
Do you want me to do it?
I'll probably help.
Come on, do you have it in a bird room?
Have you got some? Have you got a certificate?
I'll leave the rest of mine here. Yeah.
Into the city this morning, motor across in your car. A terrible pity this morning, the motorway don't go so far. But oh me, wait and see, you wake up one beautiful morning, and as far as you wander, hear the two yonder. Cement, 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 the bloody cement.
to see if everybody can remember the song we just talked of. Mr. Punch is feeling ill. Mr. Punch is feeling ill. Mr. Punch is feeling ill. So come on, kids, let's give him the pill. No.
I don't know whether you did this, but when we were kids, we used to walk across the street and pretend that we were limping and make lorries stop for us. And we used to talk gibberish and pretend we were Chinese when we were waiting for the bus. All these things are just trying to break down the monotony of the everyday environment, which is why I've become so involved in street plays.
I don't know, we can't understand it.
Not like it is.
Must be a day rest this Sunday.
If we go on the streets dressed up and we're singing the song we've got a loud halo, it's really great, it's good, it's a joke. So I really don't understand why people are hostile to it.
I'm making a bloody noise here on a Sunday afternoon.
Do they feel we're encroaching on their privacy?
You get your fuck out of here, don't come near me. Is you a bit much on a bloody Sunday?
We don't know what's going on.
Why am I trying to do it? Good question.
We're trying to get to the older people that, you know, we're normal. You know, we're just having a bit of fun. And we're just trying to get them to understand us a bit better.
It's oh God, it's so difficult to put into words, really. It's just a way of working with people. I think to try more conscious of each other and of each other's needs. It's no good kind of imposing a great revolution from above. I think very much it's got to come from people who've got to live, and they've got to live every day. And even if it's only on a very small personal level, even if it's only within the family unit, if they can be that much more aware of each other and that much more tolerant, I think something's going to come of it. Because it's the kind of thing that gradually spreads outward. It's just like sort of dropping a stone in and the circle's just widening. And the more people you get to, the further it will spread.